Hello everybody, time for another baseball term explained video, and this time we're going to talk about hitting for the cycle. This is a little bit more obscure term. Unless you're a baseball fanatic, then it's more than familiar to you. And what's interesting about baseball among major sports is that so much of what you see and hear today goes so far back to the very beginnings of the game and is part of the charm of the game. Hitting for the cycle is when players in the early days, this is how it developed. In the early days, a lot of the players came from different sports, and they were really not that effective with a bat. So they might have been a hockey player, they might have been a football player, okay, even tennis or golf, because it was just a grassroots game. And a lot of these players really didn't know how to use the bat with precision. So the early coaches, the early trainers, the early leaders of the game came up with ways to develop hitting skills, hitting for accuracy. And one of the ways they did that was they had one of their team ride a bicycle around the bases. And then they asked the players to hit for the cycle. Hit for the cycle. So what it did is it made them aware of different parts of the diamond and how to effectively place a hit rather than just swinging wildly, which is how most of them developed their style. So it took the game really to a whole nother level, because the bicycle would be either rolling around the bases or in the outfield. And the coach would say, hit for the cycle, hit for the cycle. And they would do these drills for hours, guys. And the teams that were really working this drill were suddenly winning many more games than their competitors. So it became a bread and butter training system in the major league. So that's such an interesting concept, because now if you are dropping in your ER, if your home run average, your batting average, any of your batting skills start to diminish at the major leagues today, they will send out an intern or somebody that, if they were hit and suddenly, like if they were hit by a Major League Baseball hitter today, and their protective pads, didn't fully absorb the blow, and they didn't make it, well, then there has to be somebody that is not integral to the success of the team. So generally an intern or somebody, if they had to, they could sacrifice for the better of the team. And that generally means an intern, perhaps a assistant to an assistant manager, okay? Maybe an assistant equipment manager. But they would send them out on a bicycle and have those players that games were slipping a little, whose batting averages were slipping a little, and hit for the cycle today. You'll still see it today. And of course, the bicycles are in much better, or everything, all the technology is at a much higher level. But that is a training drill that started at the very beginning, in the early days, the dawn of the game, and continues to this day. I hope that helps.